Good. That definitely pissed some people off. No, but seriously, if you use the comments as a dumping ground for how much you hate sword art, I will ban your ass. You know, .hack isn't just a title with the worst SEO I've ever laid my eyes on. It also happens to be a rather fascinating premise for a series of video games. Create a game that mimics the style and trappings of a massive multiplayer online role-playing game, but make it an entirely single-player catered console experience. Then, much like an MMO, structure its release in the form of content expansion updates every few months, each game working separately but continuing the ongoing narrative while adding new features. There ended up being 4 games in the .hack quadrilogy: Infection, Mutation, Outbreak, and Quarantine. These are the wrong fucking games. .hack GU is the sequel series to that series of games, though it follows the same basic design idea and pattern of releases, and is actually the topic of today's video. Published by Bandai Namco on the PlayStation 2, but developed by CyberConnect, who you may recognize as the creators of every Naruto game ever. .hack GU is a set of 3 JRPGs put out from October 24th, 2006 to September 10th, 2007. As I said before, one of CyberConnect's primary goals was to mimic the MMO experience, having quest shops, crafting, friends lists, guilds, an arena, randomly instanced dungeons, in addition to interacting with your computer outside of the game via emails and forums. But where .hack deviates from what could possibly be a dull idea of an MMO you play by yourself, is in its extensive storytelling. Yes, the MMO itself, known as The World, has its own lore and backstory, but the trilogy does still contain what one would expect from a standard narrative. Voice acting, cutscenes, a beautiful score, and tons of fleshed out characters all make up the plot that encircles the plot. Put another way, .hack isn't just about the MMO, it's about the people who play it and how it affects them, mainly focusing on the life of a teenager who goes by the name Haseo, the friends and enemies he meets while playing The World, and the troubles they encounter when their simple video game begins to have deathly consequences on reality. I have played the PlayStation 2 releases myself in the past, but a few years ago, Bandai Namco dropped the .hack GU trilogy Last Recode, a collection of all 3 games plus a brand new epilogue chapter with a ton of quality of life changes that help the games avoid their poorly aging mechanics. Note that they did not re-release the first set of games. I assume because those are pretty rough and would have required more than some variable changes to be more appealing to a modern audience. It's not a big deal. The GU trilogy can be enjoyed on its own without knowing anything about those 4 titles. That's how I originally experienced it. You'll miss a bunch of references and such, but the GU story doesn't get overly confusing or fall apart or anything without the prior context. And it's clear that Bandai Namco expects newcomers in 2022 to experience the sequel trilogy on its own. Last Recode runs at a higher resolution and more stable frame rate. On the gameplay side, almost every number in the whole game was adjusted to make progression faster. You move quicker, you earn XP at a boosted rate, you can carry way more currency, you can carry way more items, a bunch of changes that remove all the need for incessant grinding and backtracking, which is a-okay in my book. Though it does skew the difficulty of the games a little bit easier than it probably should be. Obviously, I recommend playing Last Recode on modern consoles, rather than the individual parts on PlayStation 2. It launched at $50 and regularly goes on sale for less. But enough build up, why don't we mosey on over to the first title in the lineup, .hack GU Volume 1, Rebirth. The World R2 is a virtual reality steampunk-inspired action MMO RPG with over 12 million units sold at the time .hack GU begins. Created in-universe by CyberConnect, hey, wait, the R2 in The World R2 stands for Revision 2. In a dramatic turn of events, the first version of the world had all of its servers burnt to the ground, leaving the game destroyed. I'm sure if you played the first .hack series, there would probably be an explanation for that, but the details don't matter. What does matter is that the massively successful run of the world was ended, but desperate to save the buttloads of cash that CyberConnect was earning from the game, they hastily smashed together what they could salvage from the world with a different project they were developing called King Crimson. This is where we come in. The game proper opens on a character creation screen as we witness the birth of our painfully 2000s black and red edge-boi, named Haseo. Yeah, we don't technically play as him, in an abstract sense. We, the player, are in control of a 17-year-old boy who is in turn controlling Haseo. I'd tell you his name, but it has potential spoiler implications. And the game never really uses his name anyway. So I will be consistently referring to both the human being and the video game character as Haseo for the sake of simplicity. Don't get confused now, it gets worse later. Loading into the world, the noob Haseo is greeted by Ata and Ioten, two veteran players who offer to teach him the basics. And you'll likely notice that because of the PS2 having to load audio files, there are 2-second long pauses in between every line of dialogue.
Well, if you wish, we will be honored to show you around.
Huh?
I am sure you would like to become well acquainted as soon as possible.
Just say yes and come along with us. I promise you won't regret it.
All right, it is decided then. Here, I'll hand you my member address.
We invite our new bestest buddies to our party and interact with the Warp Gate, which pulls up the area word system. Dungeons in the World R2 are randomly generated based on seeds. These seeds are created by using a Greek letter code, such as delta, followed by a set of 3 area words, with each word having different effects on the world you'll create, such as its theme and enemy strength. Don't worry, there are still specific word combinations that lead to specially designed levels. Not every dungeon's quality is left a chance. Haseo and Co teleport to Delta Courageous Engaging Daydream. What an optimistic and lighthearted name for a dungeon. Let me teach you how to kill stuff.
Your life belongs to me!
.hack GU is an action RPG. Thank goodness. I would have been quickly turned off if CyberConnect had emulated that almost real-time but not quite auto-attack combat that many popular MMOs had back then. I'm looking at you, WoW. Approaching enemies on the field will make them suspicious, and when you get too close, there will be an outbreak of battle, causing a force field to form around your party and the fighting to begin right there. Haseo starts the series off as an adept rogue, a fast class that dual wields twin blades, a weapon focused on getting a ton of weak hits in quickly. You press X to attack with a basic combo that ends with a finishing move, which changes depending on your weapon. The input required will be changed as well. You can hold down X to charge up a launching strike that will send almost any enemy flying, causing them to bounce off the force field where you can chase them for extra hits, or just use the distance to regroup and heal. Comboing enemies this way is immensely satisfying. .hack GU has a lot of hit stun. That is to say, the game freezes for a moment when you strike an enemy. Fighting games usually have this as well because it not only gives you a second to react, it also makes each hit feel harsh and impactful. Slamming an enemy against the wall and then juggling them has this near rhythmic feel to it that you have to experience for yourself to really understand. When you've had your fill and it's time to put your opponent away, you can press R1 to activate Skill Trigger, which freezes time and pulls up a menu. You can set 4 different skills to each of the face buttons, though until the later games there's not much reason to do this. Whichever skill you've unlocked most recently is usually going to be the single best option. Skills consume SP, and you can use them whenever you have the resources, but you're going to burn through your points in no time doing that, and it's not going to do nearly as much damage as you hope it would. Instead, in most scenarios, you should just use your basic attacks to blitz your enemy until they flash and suddenly become surrounded by these purple rings. If you use a skill on an enemy in this state, you'll perform a meaning simply combo attack in English, though Reaper tells me there's actually another layer of the phrase's meaning that's lost in translation from Japanese. Rengekis not only boost the attack of the skill you're using, they also fill your team's morale meter up in the right there. When the morale gauge is full and flashing white, you and your team can perform an awakening, kinda like a limit break. In Volume 1, there are 2 types of awakening to choose from. Beast Awakening, which briefly boosts your strength and attack speed, and Demon Awakening, which has you mash X to spam magic spells onto a trapped opponent, the element of the magic being determined by the element of the stage you're in. Okay, I think that's all of it. I know it was a lot, but cherish me talking about the combat now because, oh boy, there's a lot of story in this game. Haseo and his totally amazing BFFs make their way to the treasure-guarding beast statue, the goal of every regular dungeon in the world. There's a hilarious detail here that I love. See, Ata and Iota don't know what the statue is supposed to be because it's an MMO. Nobody reads the friggin' lore and just left clicks through all the quest dialogue. Whatever the reason may be, the pair are nice enough to let us have the treasure since we are but a lowly noob.
Thanks. What the? The items in the treasure chest are your rewards.
Yes, and our reward is you.
I love taking out these pathetic noobs. It's really quite fun.
This is another little touch I appreciate. The sheer self-importance and overly dramatic attitude these two immediately take definitely reminds me of self-important griefers and other online trolls that derive their self-worth from how many anonymous strangers they can piss off.
Well, what do you expect from a noob who's just logged in for the first time?
Huh? What the?
Hooray! We're saved by a blue-haired man with clearly far better gear than us, who no-diffs those two player killers.
Welcome to the world.
Alright, so I'm going to bring up right now that there is an anime based on .hack GU called .hack Roots. It is official and canon and is easily available online. It begins at this very moment, serving as a prequel to the main game as Haseo learns the world and works his way up to being a top-tier player. Yes, they decided this wasn't important information to have in the game itself. But we're here to assess GU Volume 1, not an entire 26-episode anime. If the developers thought the information in the show was vital to the experience, they would have included it in the game instead. And to be fair, the game does appear to be written around that assumption, with the things that happen within the Roots anime treated like a mystery that has to be unraveled. I will pull some bits and pieces and details out of it later if they become important. The only thing I want to tell you about it now is the single weirdest coincidence I can imagine for this channel. So, Haseo is voiced in the .hack games by Yuri Lowenthal. However, in .hack Roots, he's portrayed by Andrew Francis, who you might also know as the English voice of Mega Man.exe.
Like those guys that attacked me?
Hey there, I'm Mega Man. I'll be your Navi while you play.
That is almost creepy. I mention the anime at all because I want to make it clear here from the outset that I am not a .hack expert, and this is not a comprehensive compendium of .hack knowledge. The .hack conglomerate was an insanely ambitious multimedia project consisting of a stupidly high number of animations, books, and games and dramas that all tie into each other. There is no feasible way for me to digest all of it in a reasonable time frame. We will be touching upon some of these expanded universe materials in the later parts, but it would genuinely take me years if I wanted to cover everything. And unless this video does fucking gangbusters, I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon. I'll be inserting extra information as we go, so please be gentle with me if I miss or misinterpret a detail or plot point that's clarified in the expanded universe or in a later game. Keep in mind, I might also be purposefully saving certain information for future volumes, so again, cut me a little bit of slack if you think I got something wrong or didn't mention something. We cut to some time later. Haseo's been playing the game for months at this point. Spurred on by his less than stellar introduction to the game, our edgy protagonist has become known as the Terror of Death, a renowned and feared PKK, or Player Killer Killer, who single-handedly smashes griefing parties, like those run by this woman Bordeaux here. Haseo interrogates her. Being a PKer herself, he questions if she's heard of Tri-Edge, a player who allegedly completely deletes the characters he kills. Bordeaux dismisses the idea as a stupid playground rumor, and Haseo doesn't appreciate that response.
Huh? Oh, come on now. Don't tell me you actually believe that crap. Those old forum fairy tales. So, you think you can go up against me, the great Bordeaux, and just walk away like nothing happened?
Jesus Christ.
Back in Makanu, the main hub city of the World R2, we're held up by Sakaki, a high-ranking member of a huge guild called Moon Tree, along with his subordinate, a sweet, though talkative girl named Atoli.
Sorry, Sakaki, but I've already got enough friends. Thanks.
Do you always interrupt people like that? You know, Sakaki wasn't finished talking to you yet.
Shino.
Sakaki isn't a fan of Haseo's method of eliminating griefers, but before Haseo could tell him to shove his opinion square up his ass, we get a text from the man that saved us all those months ago, Ovan. Haseo runs after him, and we receive our setup and stakes for the long road ahead. Ovan informs Haseo that Tri-Edge has been spotted at the Hule Grand's Cathedral, the same place where, 6 months ago, their friend Shino was struck down by Tri-Edge. Ever since that day, the Shino in the real world has been trapped in a coma, explaining why Haseo's been working so hard to become better at this game, lying in wait for the moment he can take revenge and try to save her.
He will be back today, at the scene of the crime.
They say there used to be a statue of a girl here.
A girl?
That's right. She was called Aura.
I wonder, why'd she disappear?
Who knows? Maybe she just lost her interest. Lost hope for this world.
Ovan's tip turns out to be correct, and the glitched player, Tri-Edge, appears. His appearance being almost identical to Kite, the protagonist of the first Dot Hack saga. Despite all of his leveling and practice, with Shino's attacker right within his grasp, Haseo can't even touch him. Haseo throws everything he has at Tri-Edge, who casually shrugs it off.
This guy killed Shino. It's not over yet! It's not over yet!
Haseo manages to survive the encounter, but his weapons and gear are destroyed, his level is reset to 1, and he's forcibly ejected from the world. When Haseo returns to his desktop, he realizes that his entire PC has been reformatted and all of his data is lost. We're back to square one in less than a half hour. Man, this game is front-loaded with plot. We have just now arrived at the point where the prologue has ended and the game starts for real. With introductions and exposition finally out of the way, we're now aware of our primary goals for this trilogy. Restore Haseo's power back up from scratch so we can defeat Tri-Edge, and find a way to awaken Shino from her coma. The first thing Haseo does upon logging back in is to search Makanu to try and find Ovan.
What the hell's going on?
Ah!
Gaspard, are you okay?
Come on now. Really? Okay, sure. These two casual players are Silabus and Gaspard. I hope you like them because they are our actual first-party members. Haseo tries to convince them that he is the infamous Haseo, the level 133 Terror of Death. But these guys aren't buying it after the reset. The pair assume Haseo is just role-playing a weird character, and insist on teaching the noob how to play the game, with Haseo reluctantly following along. What follows is a humorous version of the tutorial we just did, where Haseo is increasingly frustrated at having basic mechanics explained to him by generic elf boy and E621. It's not a total waste of time, as this second tutorial gives us our first glimpse at a lot of the possible dungeon mechanics that might be generated into each area. Most notably is the introduction of chim-chims, cute little glowing creatures of different sizes found in a variety of locations. They can be tapped by your party, which causes them to drop chim spheres. Well, tap might be a generous word. Chim spheres are a power source, used to provide energy to the various steam-powered contraptions throughout the world R2, like teleporters and giant locks. And don't worry, small chim-chims will spawn infinitely somewhere in the dungeon, be it on conveyors or trees or what have you. So as far as I can tell, you can't soft lock yourself. They did think of that.
Hey, little Haseo. Been a while, huh?
What the? Not now.
Well, looks like you haven't been keeping up since the last time we met. It took me a little while to recognize that you were really the Terror of Death.
What? He's real?
Well, that's one good thing. Thanks to Bordeaux's taunting, Silabus and Gaspard finally believe Haseo. We're still gonna get stomped, though.
I don't really know what's going on. But please, no violence. Oh, hell. What is this?
As if he didn't have enough to deal with, the stress of the situation causes Haseo to collapse onto the floor, struggling with what feels like an intense force trying to escape from his body. I don't think video games are supposed to give you that feeling. Not the rated T ones, anyway.
You guys look like you're having fun. The guild that you PKers hate the most might be heading this way as we speak.
Moontree? I can't believe it. You tipped them off, you bitch! I won't forget this.
What a silly girl. Don't you realize that I just saved you?
Thanks, lady. She's in a bit of a hurry, so while we don't get much info out of her before she leaves, she does imply she's aware of the power Haseo felt inside him a moment ago. Gaspard advises Haseo to go get his character's data checked out for bugs, but edge-boi has other plans in mind, feeling he might be able to use whatever this force is to beat Tri-Edge. If only he knew what the hell it was. Warping back to town, our pals suggest we go to Moontree for protection from future PK attacks.
Oh, them. You want me to beg those hard-headed dorks to protect me? Forget about it. I'd rather be PK'd than be protected by all those lecturing loudmouths. Seriously, who makes a charity group in a game?
So Haseo starts shit-talking them immediately, but is suddenly stopped by a very shouty Atoli who insists Haseo doesn't understand the good Moontree does to help people, and also forces her player address onto us. She wants us to go with her to try and learn her way of enjoying the world. Haseo responds by logging out the second she leaves. On our desktop, we've got some emails to answer, and it's not just a disguised tutorial and exposition dumping ground. Though it is also that. We'll receive tons of messages throughout the games, and Haseo is given multiple responses to choose from for some of them. While it's occasionally tempting to be a snarky asshat all the time, you're gonna want to shy away from those impulses. All of the characters we befriend, with our consent or not, have affection meters represented by this glowy orb surrounded by smaller glowy orbs. The more orb on your orb, the stronger your orb is. When your orb is orby enough, it'll change color to show its increased level. The specifics of this mechanic are best saved for other games in the trilogy. There is a single agonizing flaw with this email app, however. You cannot access it from within the world, meaning you have to log out, wait for a loading screen, close the game, go check your messages, boot the game back up, and then wait for another loading screen. Well, not that bad on paper. In practice, you'll be checking your email after almost literally every single plot occurrence from now on. I would truthfully guess that a half hour or so of time is spent doing this process over the course of the game. A half hour of time that could have been saved by simply allowing me to read emails from within the world. I would guess that the reason it's designed this way is to incentivize you to check out the other windows on the desktop frequently. There's Crimson Verses, which is not available in Volume 1, and a settings menu where we can choose backgrounds from dozens of unlockable images, even changing their brightness and colors, as well as choosing which tracks play on the desktop. We can also take a look at the news capture, which I swear is genuinely worth a click, though it's easy to ignore. The news capture features lore and backstory about the goings-on in the universe of .hack. From fully written articles to dozens of anime shorts, there's some worthwhile stuff here. Not all of it is exactly relevant to the main story, but some of it can shed greater light on how the world and virtual reality gaming is affecting society, and it's clear a lot of effort went into it. When we log back into the game, Silabus and Gaspard take us on an adventure to kick small animals and teach us about the side quest counter. It's exactly what it sounds like it is. Followed by Atoli calling us up for her little nature walk thing.
Hope I didn't bother you.
If you think you're bothering me, don't send me an email in the first place.
This is one of my very favorite areas. The moon tonight looks even prettier than usual.
Prettier than usual? Yeah, right, come on. I mean, this is just an online game.
Haseo is not quite impressed with Atoli's admiration of the world's beauty, as he views the game in a very literal sense. A collection of code, a video game, a set of predetermined numbers and graphics, so her amazement and wonder irritates him. I imagine the fact that this game took someone he cares about away from him plays a part in that as well.
Huh? Haseo?
What? I've already heard enough about Moon Tree Guild.
Haseo, do you hear something coming from over there?
Nope.
That can't be right.
The pair go around back and see a series of pulsing red gashes in a triangular shape scarring the walls, a marking frequently left behind by Tri-Edge.
What? Haseo!
We're being sucked towards Tri-Edge's sign.
What is that? It's so pretty.
The orbs, the tree, or the dude, because whichever one you're talking about, I agree. Atoli feels a spike of pain in her head and realizes that this man is the source of the noise.
That guy. What's up with him?
Well, let's go ask him. Wait, please!
It's dangerous!
Johnny Yongbosh, what are you doing here?
Stay back! Take this! And now, Megas!
What in the tokusatsu transformation fuck is this? That guy in yellow morphs into some kind of snake monster and obliterates that amoeba thing. When the situation dies down, the guy claims himself to be a CC Corp employee just fixing bugs, but Atoli passed out when the monster appeared. Not just in the game, but in reality, and there's no computing bug that can cause that. The man, much like the pink-haired lady from before, certainly knows more about what's going on in the world lately. His name is Kun, and he lures Haseo into meeting with his guild, Raven, by dangling info about Tri-Edge in front of him. Thirsty for any new insight about Tri-Edge or Shino, Haseo doesn't have much of a choice. After leaving the strange cavern, we go to Raven's at-home, the world's term for guild halls, where we're reintroduced to the pink-haired woman. Her name is Pi, so good I don't have to keep describing her with vague adjectives. The third and final member of Raven is their guildmaster, Yada, who it turns out actually is a CC Corp employee, a system administrator specifically, who's been watching Haseo's current predicament very closely. To gain his trust, Yada begins info dumping onto Haseo about the situation developing in the world as of late. He starts by revealing Raven is only a cover title, and the real name of their group is GU, an acronym that, despite being the title of the game, has no set singular meaning. That amoeba-like blob Kun destroyed was a type of creature that's begun spawning all over the world that CC Corp has chosen to call AIDA, Artificially Intelligent Data Anomaly. The acronym has other meanings as well, but this is the most commonly used one. AIDA are an unknown species that were never programmed into the game. They transcend beyond the basic code of a mere video game enemy, and are compelled to suck the life out of anyone they come into contact with through data draining. The same phenomena that happened to Haseo when his character was reformatted. The group hypothesized that beings like Tri-Edge might be AIDA as well, and that's why humans defeated by him have begun to contract doll syndrome or fall into comas.
What? So, you guys knew all along that the real-life Shino is in a coma?
We would like to try and understand what the connection is between an online PK and a player becoming comatose before this little problem of ours has time to become public knowledge.
Haseo asks the obvious question. Well, not the obvious question, because the obvious question is, why not just close the whole fucking game down? Don't worry, there's an explanation for that in the future. No, Haseo asks why Yada would bother to unload all of this onto him. The answer being his character's hidden power. Some very special characters were assigned to random players when they likely shouldn't have been. These special player characters are called Epitaph users, a title both Kun and Pi share as well. Their unique character data allows them to summon an avatar, like that puppet armor we saw Kun battle with earlier. Whatever an Epitaph is, Haseo agrees to join up with Raven, albeit hesitantly, to gain access to this avatar form.
Shino, if I help you guys out, I'll be able to use those avatar things, right?
Of course. It would be rather troublesome for us if you could not.
Sure thing, I'll help you out. But I won't take any orders from anyone. Understand? That is my only condition.
Which doesn't mean much at the moment, as he has no clue how to activate it, and neither does anyone else. So I guess that story thread is just gonna go on hold for a bit. Pi seems like a pretty emotionally distant person, and doesn't exactly like Haseo very much. And Kun has some urgent business to attend to, so nobody is around to guide Haseo towards unlocking his avatar. Yeah, it's not like it's important or anything. We just dick around town until we find Gaspard in the plaza, where Haseo is then immediately roped into running a guild shop for him while Pink Puff goes off to resupply. The only point in me wasting my breath describing this situation is because it leads to us meeting a new character, or characters, as it were.
How did I get stuck doing this?
Excuse me.
Well, welcome!
A wee anime tot approaches our shop looking for a certain item, a gift for their sister, but it's far too expensive for them to afford as all of their money has disappeared, having been taken by their sister. See, this small child's name is Saku and Bo, a character on a single account shared by two siblings. Bo is the shy boy we're talking to right now, while Saku is his sister. I figure because the developers need to remind us that Haseo isn't a completely unbearable shitheel, he decides to give Bo the item for free anyway. You know, have to make him seem somewhat redeemable. Oh look, here comes Kun being a fucking womanizing weirdo. Looks like going to Pound Town was more important than teaching us about epitaphs.
If you keep looking at me with such a beautiful gaze like that, I just know that I'll be forever bound to you. Yo, Haseo, long time no see.
What do you mean, yo, you jerk? You sure look like you're having fun with the ladies there, Cooney.
Oh no, this is just, well...
After Kun runs off before anyone could call him out, Silabus and Gaspard let us know that their noob helper guild, Canard, used to be run by Kun himself way back when. They've yet to replace their leader since he left, and guess who they suddenly choose to fill that spot? A while later, Kun calls us up along with Pi to actually put some effort into this trying to awaken Haseo's epitaph thing. The group travel out to Great Cursed In-Laws. Haseo is an insufferable little asshole for a bit,
Your boss is the one who put me in GU. Shouldn't you guys be asking for my help?
You damn! How dare you speak of Master Yada-like?
Okay, that's enough.
And then Kun tries to explain how an avatar is summoned, telling Haseo that avatars are born through a player's connection to their character, their hearts surpassing the boundaries of the game and influencing the code. Thanks to the laws of plot pacing, Haseo is unable to awaken his avatar yet, and he takes it well.
Haseo, you've reached your limit. Let's call it a day.
What's going on? Why won't my avatar appear?
Well...
Maybe the problem's your lack of talent.
What did you say?
Even if you are one of the Epitaph users, if you, the player, don't know how to use it, well, then it's pointless.
Yeah, right. You two just aren't teaching me the right way. Listen, if you guys can't even keep your promise to me, then the deal that I had with GU is off.
Charming. Fresh off his disappointment streak, Haseo's application to become Canard's new guildmaster passes through, so we got that going for us.
I'm Grunty. You're Haseo. Oink. So you're the new guildmaster, huh? Oink.
An NPC?
My name is Death Grunty, of the Grunty race. I'm the manager of this at-home. Oink. I won't accept someone like you. Oink.
This is the worst thing my eyes have ever laid witness upon. I love him. Death Grunty isn't gonna let us take over the guild with a simple form submission. We're gonna need some certification assignments to complete. Dear fucking god, the license quests follow me everywhere I go. It's an excuse for us to learn about running the guild shop proper. Much like a real MMO, there's a system in place for players to sell their items in a marketplace to other players. You can talk to Death Grunty and add any items you don't need into the shop inventory. Wait a bit, and when you come back, you'll have some extra moolah waiting for you. It's important that you remember to rotate stock and check it regularly. You never know when you'll suddenly need those fat pockets for better gear if you hit a wall. And heed my words. If you're playing the PlayStation 2 version, you will hit a wall. As a reward for completing our guildly duties, we're given a few more resources to work with. The Book of 1000, Achievements Before Achievements. Fulfill a variety of parameters throughout the trilogy to unlock rewards, mostly in the form of background art and music for your desktop. Check in every once in a while with Death Grunty to note down your progress and claim your rewards, because you will not get anything passively from this. You need to interact with the book directly to update it with your numbers. The Alchemy Room. You can use this workshop in the back of Canard's at-home to strengthen your weapons by feeding duplicates into them. Looks like .hack predicted gotchas as well. I have to point out something that's always bugged me about this process though. When you do upgrade a weapon, a short cutscene plays with Death Grunty, and his voice is just wrong. It's not even close to the right voice.
Oink, oink, is it ready? Oink, it's done, oink.
Last up is the Steam Bike, a motorcycle that we can board in any outdoor areas, even certain dungeons for faster traversal. It sucks! The Steam Bike is super unwieldy and awkward in Volume 1. Dear god, turning is a nightmare. Volumes 2 and 3 completely rework the Steam Bike and make it more fun to ride and add swappable parts, all that sort of stuff. But as far as this game goes, we're gonna be ignoring it. With our new Guildmaster status squared away, Haseo, along with his fellow guild members, gets a game news update that the Demon Palace tournament is being held in Lumina Cloth, a bright, nightlife-focused city where officially sanctioned PvP battles take place for the entertainment of the player base. Still without a way to awaken his avatar, we don't exactly have anything important to do, so Haseo decides to go and check out the event with Silabus and Gaspard. Lumina Cloth's arena is divided into different brackets, known as palaces. And today, the champion, or emperor, of the Demon Palace is going to be defending his title in a match.
He's here! Yay!
That guy is... He's... the Emperor?
Yep, that's the undefeated Emperor himself, Emperor Endrance.
Endrance, huh?
Haseo watches the match closely and is unimpressed, as Endrance is playing it overly safe, just dodging his opponent's attacks. only to be shocked when the Emperor goes on the offensive.
Is that...
What's the matter?
Can't you see that? Can't you? Avatar.
Haseo?
No, it's nothing.
Well, we're gonna have to kick his ass at some point in the near future. Everyone in the stands is unaware of what happened, as they aren't Epitaph users. So from their perspective, all the challengers simply drop dead out of nowhere. Contemplating the situation outside, Haseo is surprised by Bo running up to him and berating him for going after Master N.
Oh, you're the sister.
Hello? What are you looking at me like that for? You a freak. Ah! Oh, I got it. You're after Master N, aren't you? Forget it. I won't allow it. Master N and I are in love. And we're destined to be together forever!
What the f is wrong with this child?
Speak of the devil. Haseo warns Endrance that he knows he's cheating with his Epitaph. But frankly, Endrance doesn't give a shit because he can tell Haseo hasn't even awakened his Epitaph yet, and therefore is not a threat. Angrily outbursting as always, our edge-boi decides he's going to enter the Demon Palace tournament and defeat that flowery jerk. Oh, good. Looks like this is gonna be our focus for a bit, and thank God, too. All this talk of arena battles made me realize just how little combat we've participated in up to this point. There's been, 4 dungeons before now, not counting tutorials, each lasting maybe 15 minutes? I understand this is a long trilogy, and we have a ton of world building and system explanations to get through, but Volume 1 is very light on gameplay for its first half, and I am trying to get through it as fast as possible without skipping anything important. But if you're one of those people who can't stand games with slow starts, you may wish to do some cutscene skipping. Yeah, anyway, the arena. We need a team of 3 if we hope to stand a chance in the rankings. Silabus is willing to help us out, but Gaspard isn't into the combat side of the world. He's more about exploring and RPing and all that nonsense, so we'll need someone else. Preferably someone with good healing spells. Yeah, worth a shot, I suppose. Atoli invites us to go along on another nature walk, where she gives us a strangely meta breakdown of how even if media is made up, fictional, it can still evoke emotions and have an impact on us. Hint, hint. As long as you're having fun and not hurting anyone, that's all that matters. Even if she is being kind of overbearing and annoying, and much like Haseo, the player is really itching for some regular gameplay right now, he just needs to be nice, play along, and try to convince Atoli to join our team without...
I mean, what's the point of defeating your opponent just to show off your power?
Well, it's only natural for players to want to be strong in an RPG, right?
Yeah, but Haseo, there's no goal in that. Personally, I think it's also really important for us to slow down and stop. And to enjoy things like flowers blooming around your ankles. Nice things like meeting all sorts of new people.
Slow down? Stop and to enjoy? It's impossible! I can't take this anymore! What are you, an idiot? All of this! All of this! All of this! Is nothing more than a bunch of computer data! It's just a bunch of fake stuff made by slapping textures on top of polygons! How the hell do you find any part of this made-up world beautiful?
Haseo!
There's only one thing that's real about this world, and that's us, the players. Getting stronger and defeating your opponent. Those are the ways that all of us keep connected. That's the way this game is played. What's wrong with that, huh? Answer me! Tell me, what's wrong with that?
I...
Damn, you're so irritating. Don't show your face again.
Judging her like a prick. I'm really getting the feeling that Atoli isn't going to be thrilled to help us beat up people for sport. So like with all internet searches, we head to the very last bottom of the barrel choice to find our solution. A forum. As opposed to a 7-year-old archive post with no useful information like a real-life forum would give us, Haseo manages to find someone interested in becoming our third rather quickly. We head out to meet our potential partner, Sakura, who gives us an area word to their location, and yeah, that's about what I expected. I told you, there's no such thing as a helpful official forum post.
You mean you replied to the post? Oh, damn it!
Hold it right there, PKers.
Huh? Oh my. Tell me, what would one of the top Moontree members be doing in a place like this?
So it turns out, not only is Kestrel, the group Bordeaux is a member of, not a PK-focused guild, Sakaki isn't even sure PKing is allowed within their rules. So he blackmails them into letting Haseo go. It then turns out that Atoli is the one who alerted Moontree to the trap in the first place, who was in turn alerted by Bo, since it was his sister Saku who put out the hit. Sakaki extends his hand to Haseo, attempting to convince him to stop making a goddamn enemy of everyone with his garbage attitude, which he responds to with his garbage attitude. But even after all that, Atoli changes her mind and decides to be the third man in our arena team. A real saint that lady is. Now we can sign up for the Demon Palace tournament. I am genuinely excited that we get to fight for a bit now. Battles in the arena have slightly different rules compared to standard encounters. Each team consists of up to 3 people, with one of those players being considered the leader. The leader is the only person whose HP really matters. The other 2 can fall as many times as they want, but if the leader faints a single time, that team loses instantly. Main character privilege, obviously Haseo is the leader of his team at all times. On average, the best strat is to focus on any mages your opponent might have before focusing on the leader. While it might seem logical to just immediately focus on the leader, unless the opposing team is quite weak, you're gonna run into a problem. See, because you only have 2 damage dealers right now, Atoli has almost no offensive ability, that means one of your 3 challengers will always be available to heal their leader if you don't stop them first. To help disincentivize spamming your skills over and over again, a counter-attack system is put in place. While you can still perform a Rengeki, any other use of a skill can be punished at any point by a member of the opposing team using a skill on you. Be sure to take advantage of this system yourself, even if you're not the one being targeted. The last aspect of the arena to keep note of is that battles here grant more skill points than regular battles. While we only have access to one type of weapon at the moment, using a class of weapon will earn skill points that increase its level. The higher the level of that class, the more arts you unlock. While we wait for our next match to be booked, we catch wind of a rumor about Tri-Edge on the forums. Looks like a challenge has been issued from the GU leader to Tri-Edge. Yada must be out of his mind. We better investigate ourselves.
Very nice. I see that you have fallen straight into my trap, Tri-Edge. I have finally found you. Come and become bound as you deserve. Who are you? Ha! You pathetic human beings are not worthy enough to know what my name is. Slow Doberman! Heroes, preferred! At your service! Ta-da!
I'm out of here. I have grinding to do, especially if we're going to be getting through those arena ranks. We'll have to start actually putting in effort soon instead of blindly mashing X. Once you feel you've sufficiently raised your level, you haven't, but it's cute that you think otherwise, it's time to go back to some more arena challenges to raise our rank. We start all the way down at rank 500, and we need to win battles to earn WP, which I guess stands for win points, to get up to the top of the leaderboard and earn a confrontation with Endrance. There are tons of different teams to go up against, and they yield more points depending on their strength and how many you can take down in a row. In the original game on PS2, this can take some time, unless you want to head off to buff your level for a while, or you'll be stuck fighting the lower level battles for less rewards. Thankfully, last recode massively increases the EXP you earn at all times, so 1 or 2 training sessions and you'll be more than set to fly up the ranks.
Hey, you!
What do you want, old man?
Upon passing rank 200, some Tengu-looking sumbitch struts up to Haseo and starts belittling his skill in the arena, chastising him for not working together properly with his team. The man says if Haseo really wants to prove himself, he should go do this one specific side quest. Now, obviously, we won't be doing this. We have far more important things to deal with. Why would we waste our time trying to impress some rando?
If you're not up to it, run away with your tail between your legs. Shoo!
Run away? Don't you look down on me. I'll clear that area like it's nothing.
Oh, right, because Haseo is an easily manipulated angry toddler. Off we go to the area word given to us by the Tengu man. He sends us an email where we learn his name is Antares, and he ruins this entire dungeon by immediately giving us the solution. The whole thing is a series of one-way teleporters. However, Antares tells us right off the bat to warp from the center of the spiral. So, because the level is a spiral, we just go clockwise until we reach the center.
You!
So you finally come. Well, not exactly what you'd call easy now, was it?
I mean, you told me exactly what to do, but sure, bye. The plot goes away for a bit while we grind some more PvP fights, and doesn't worm its way back to the forefront until we reach Arena Rank 16, the rank that actually puts us on the leaderboard. Shortly after which, we answer an email from Silabus, warping over to the plaza in Makanu, only to find our guild shop Acorn is totally empty. A devastated Gaspard and Silabus tell Haseo that Canard is having the entire game ruined for them by Bordeaux and the rest of Kestrel, who've been threatening to PK anyone who is even associated with Haseo.
Why? Why didn't you tell me?
Well, you've been working so hard at the arena, and we asked them to stop so many times, again and again. But they just kept laughing and saying it's our own fault for helping Haseo.
Since Sakaki prevented them from going after me, they go after everyone around me instead.
And I like this moment. It starts to show Haseo is growing as a person, if only slightly. He's been confrontational and careless with every person he's come across. He's quickly shooting himself into the public spotlight as well, and that's not a healthy combination, especially when people who call you their friend are involved. And to his credit, Haseo does take a second to reflect on how he isn't the center of the world, and his narrow-minded actions can affect others in a negative way. To try and fix the situation, Haseo goes with Kun to talk to Kestrel's guild leader at Delta Sneering Failing Empire. That's a little on the nose for an enemy guild. Oh, right. Large important guilds get their own private area and everything, rather than just an at-home. Kun feels he has a good chance at winning over Kestrel's boss, as he was also Kestrel's vice guild master before breaking off to form Canard.
We came here to demand the immediate cessation of all Canard bullying.
Wait a sec. Wasn't the stupid little beast player we bullied the last time from that guild?
Oh, you mean that really stupid-looking one?
It's true, but he shouldn't say it.
We then meet Gabby, a loud and not very sharp beast man, who at the very least seems far more amicable than the rest of his crew.
Hey, beast guy, do something about those damn PKers in your guild.
Why not let those that want to PK? And PKKers can do as they want to. If you don't want to die, then run!
Oh great, he's a libertarian.
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
Bordeaux and Haseo decide to shelve this argument for the time being, and instead agree to settle this in the ring.
Thunder!
This isn't the world that I know. This isn't what I want to play. The world that I know of is one in which everyone is happy and smiling all the time.
Gaspard, this is an online video game? I got called 6 different slurs just walking over here.
The world just isn't fun anymore. It's not.
That's right. The only reason why these two are playing is because it's fun. I totally forgot. I'm sorry. I went too far.
Silabus has become fed up as well, deciding he'll be sitting out for the rest of the tournament. Playing the world is just no longer fun to them. It's become too competitive and serious, and nobody's playing to enjoy themselves. Everyone's just playing to win. Kun stops by to give us some advice as soon as we leave the guild hall. Says we should drop out of the tournament anyway, as GU is going to be participating in the Demon Palace tournament as well to get a meeting with Endrance.
I'm kind of surprised. This is just an online game, right? And yet...
Gaspard. So he was really crying, huh?
Kun, I've decided that I'm not going to withdraw from the tournament.
Fine. Do what you want.
Seeking a way to get stronger to even stand a chance against Bordeaux, much less Endrance and GU. Haseo gets a message from Antares about job extension, a feature Haseo had somehow completely slipped his mind, even though he's evidently used it multiple times prior. We can go to the quest shop and accept the job extension mission, which asks us to receive a Twilight symbol from a preset dungeon. A preset dungeon with the same map layout as the stage Antares had us play before, which means he must have been trying to prepare us. What is that guy's deal? We teleport from the center of the spiral, just like before, collect the Twilight symbol, and return to the quest shop to complete the events. Borrowing another important aspect from MMOs and their character progression, the World R2 allows for more experienced players to undergo a job extension. But unlike most MMOs, this isn't a buff accompanied by a new skill tree and appearance change. Technically. No, job extensions in this game allow the player to change their class entirely, akin to the job change mechanic from some of the Final Fantasy titles. Okay, hold on, big late addition here. This job thing is actually way more complicated than the game implies, and I didn't notice till I was already way into editing the final video when researching some other stuff. See, I thought Adept Rogue was the name of Haseo's thief class that gives him the two swords. That is not the case. Adept Rogues are a class that functions entirely differently to every other class in the game. They're allowed to select up to 3 jobs during character creation. Each job is given a point value for balance reasons, and the player is given 4 points to spend. The offset here is that Adept Rogues have average stats and require limited time job advance quests to unlock their other weapons. Said weapons also gain experience at a slower rate than if that job had been selected naturally. Okay? Are we good now? I'm cutting back to whatever stupid crap I was saying before. Bye! Haseo's second form, for example, gives him access to the powers of an edge punisher, which means comically gigantic sword, complete with its own skill level and arts. Great swords dwarf our old dual blades in terms of damage, and size I suppose, but tank our attack speed as expected. The charge launcher is especially devastating. It's slow, but easily the strongest non-skill based attack at our disposal. And even if you're not a fan of the broadsword and its incredibly slow 2-hit combo, or think that a swift approach would be better suited for a certain encounter, that's okay, as switching between Haseo's movesets is as straightforward as equipping the opposite weapon. I wouldn't recommend doing it now. No dual blades available at the moment stack up to the 200-pound slab of fuck we're carrying, so I'd hold off on that.
It really feels different when you're about to fight an official match in front of an audience. Can we win? What do you think, Haseo?
Atoli.
Yes? What?
Calm down.
I wonder if Silabus and Gaspard will come to watch us.
Oh crap, right. Silabus is gone. Big sword, small sword, doesn't matter when it's 3-on-1. Remember that Atoli doesn't attack. You've got to be careful here. Take advantage of your large swinging range with a great sword and your charge attacks to launch them away and make space for yourself. Or just be a high enough level if you're having trouble. This is still an RPG after all.
Can't be finished. They're all counting on me. If I lose here, then I won't be able to protect anyone. Not Silabus, not Gaspard, not Atoli, not Shino. I swear, I am going to kill you with my own hands. And Endrance and Tri-Edge, come to me. Come on. Come on. Come on!
Using the power of his newly summoned avatar, Skaith. High on life, let's say, Haseo effortlessly drops Bordeaux in her team. Kun, alongside Pai, was watching from the stands, however, and is not happy with Haseo going beast mode on regular players. He, of all people, should understand the dangers of misusing these meta powers on regular players. Remember the girlfriend coma thing? All of Haseo's positive character development over the past few hours immediately evaporates, and I just want to toss his skinny ass into a wood chipper. I know we still have a long way to go and they're going for a character arc here, but we are almost 10 hours into this game and he is still fucking insufferable. One could argue it's the sudden awakening of Skaith influencing him, and that's certainly part of it. That's what's intended to be happening here. But he's kind of been acting like this the whole time, so it's hard to give him the benefit of the doubt. Before anything else has time to happen, we're urgently summoned by AIDA, and Haseo goes? He just told 66% of GU to suck his dick, and he still responds to summons? Okay. At Raven's at home, AIDA shows us footage he obtained of a player getting murked by Tri-Edge the same way that Shino was. GU has taken to calling these coma victims attacked by AIDA and Tri-Edge the Lost Ones. Yes, there are so many of them at this point that somebody had to come up with a capitalized, dramatic-sounding name. But hold on, you have footage of Tri-Edge, right? Why don't you know where he is? Well, AIDA explains that CC Corp can't track Tri-Edge because he isn't listed in regular player logs. Bizarrely, he does still have a player ID registered, but his ID matches to a long-defunct account, meaning it's likely whatever Tri-Edge truly is only inhabiting an abandoned old character from the original version of the world that was burnt down. That might explain why he shares the appearance of Kite from the first .hack series. That just happened to be the body he ended up hiding in. Alright, that's enough plot development for you. These details ain't free, bitch. You're running the meter. Turns out AIDA wants Haseo to learn about data drain and AIDA by going on a trip to gather us some black amoeba balls. So that way, Evanescence's #1 fan can do something useful for once. Hey, you guys want to go on a 20-minute mandatory detour? What do you want? Antares takes us to Lumina Cloth, to the giant building opposite of the arena, where an exclusive at-home is based, the Guild Hall for Ecolo, a group composed only of Palace Emperors. Hold the phone, old man. You just said only arena emperors can get in at... Oh, yeah, should have figured.
Hey there, Sirius. How you doing, Lord Emperor of the Holy Palace?
Huh? You mean this guy's an arena emperor too? He doesn't look that strong to me.
Could somebody just fucking hit him? Antares introduces Haseo to the current emperors, aside from Endrance, Taihaku and Sirius. I have nothing to say about them. Taihaku comes off as an empty shell of a person, and Sirius looks to just be pissed at everything all the time. They're both staggeringly bland and don't get any character until future volumes, so... Alkaid is also here. Even if you haven't played .hack, you've probably seen this character around the internet for, reasons. Alkaid was the previous emperor of the Demon Palace before she was dethroned by Endrance and his avatar. As if Haseo going against GU wasn't bad enough, she's competing in the tournament as well in an attempt to regain her place in the guild. Her temper and bad attitude almost matches Haseo's. I'm sure they'll get along.
Rival? Who? You mean this? He looks weak.
What did you say?
What are you, some kind of noob?
Don't you know the name Alkaid? Demon Palace Emperor.
Former Emperor.
Shut the hell up!
Hey, turns out Alkaid is exceedingly bitter about her loss to Pretty Boy Endrance. It's to be expected since he was basically cheating. Why did Antares even bring us here? To see a bunch of miserable, angry fucks? Well, yeah. He's noticed the way Haseo is acting lately, obsessed with power and winning above everything else. So Antares dragged him to Ecolo to show him that mindlessly chasing victory at all costs won't suddenly make you a happy or more fulfilled person. Just look at these bitter jerkwads. I'm sure Haseo will take that lesson to heart. Right, we had a mission we were supposed to be doing. Yada ordered us to go practice battling AIDA and learn to control our Epitaph. I suppose Pi is coming along to support us, or rather to make sure Haseo doesn't do anything stupid. Pi drills into our head once again, the Epitaphs are nothing to screw with or use maliciously. One wrong move and Haseo could end up becoming a lost one as well. He needs to exercise more control.
Be careful, or you'll get pulled into the other side of the hole.
Other side? Ugh.
When battling AIDA or other meta-level opponents, you'll be put in control of Haseo's avatar, Skaith. Armed with a scythe and energy blasts, avatar battles take a more shoot-'em-up or bullet hell style approach to combat. Skaith can float around the data void and dash in any direction to move in for attacks or to avoid damage. He's also able to fire energy from his hand in multi-shot bursts that actually have to be led if you want them to hit, as the projectiles themselves are on the slow side. Your goal is still to lower the enemy's HP to 0, but if you want to do that sometime this century, you'll want to focus on breaking their guard with repeated attacks. All of your hits do damage, but unless your adversary is guard broken, the damage is barely noticeable. Whenever you blast down their defenses, that's when the scythe comes in. You can use the melee attacks whenever you want, but good luck with that. You have to be right on top of your target, and if they aren't stunned, they will be exploding things in your face the entire time. When the AIDA's health depletes to nothing, it will cause a protect break, which means they're weak enough to be data drained, done by focusing your energy into one final blast. None of our opponents are going to be keen on having their essence sucked clean out, so they'll continue to struggle even at this point. You'll have to dodge their death throws as you charge the data drain. If you get hit, you lose charge and might miss your opening, giving your target time to recover some of their stamina. You know, throughout this mission, Haseo is being, well, I wouldn't call it nice, but reasonable and somewhat polite. He looks like he's mostly calmed down and is maybe rethinking his recent actions after talking to Antares and Pi.
Wow, that was a great adventure!
Yes, it sure was. But don't worry me like that.
But it was so much fun, wasn't it?
What do you mean, fun? Please refrain from doing such a thing next time.
But I like it!
Hey, look out! Get away from there!
Oh shit, someone on the internet is very happy right about now.
Run! Run, Haseo! Coon! Call Coon! No, 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 no! No! Haseo! Hurry! You got to run!
Even if I call Coon now, he'll never make it. Sorry, lady, but I think I've had just about enough of your lessons. Okay, now, come on. I'm right here. Sky! I will save you. I swear!
I'm just gonna be straight up on this one. Pi's Epitaph, Tarvos, gets a bit shafted by her placement here. Being at the end of the Avatar tutorial, the fight is still very simple, with not much to write home about, and no special gimmicks or anything really to speak of. It also kind of fucks up Tarvos and Pi's power scaling when she's beaten by some kid who learned how to summon his avatar 10 minutes ago. Though you could argue she's being controlled, so she's not fighting at full capacity. Ooh, other Epitaph users can data drain as well. I should have figured that.
Hey, come on, snap out of it! What are you doing? Now wake up! Wake up! Please wake up! I said wake up! Pie! Pie!
That's the first time you've called me by my name.
The boy and his attendant apologize for putting Pi in danger and depart, promising to thank us properly in the future. With that ordeal over with, Pi heads back to report to Yada while Haseo is called up by Atoli for an important— wow, that was fast. Moontree. Moontree wants to see us. I wonder why.
Welcome to Moontree.
So, the kid we saved turns out to be Zelkova, the leader of all of Moontree. Also, it turns out Moontree has 7 assistant guildmasters, by the way. It sounds like an anime boss hierarchy if I've ever seen one. As the higher-ups go back and forth amongst themselves about their master's careless wandering, Pi sends Haseo a PM, letting him know that Sakaki and the other Moontree members only consider Zelkova a figurehead, and that they've been trying to gently push him towards taking less and less responsibility. I'm thinking it's just so Sakaki can get him out of the way. Oh, also nothing outside of this conversation happens. We came here for the sole purpose of being thanked again, and to introduce these characters. Perfect timing for actual things to happen. The second round of the Demon Palace tournament is going to start soon, and the enemy's team head combatant is Matsu, the 7th of Moontree's 7 council. Yep, see, told you, boss fight. Plus, with Bordeaux and Kestrel taken care of, Silabus is ready to assist us again. He'll be a big help, even if it's just for an extra body to tank hits. Also, now is about the time where I remembered that you have to give your AI companions new weapons and armor, or they'll just have the default shit forever. Haseo asks Atoli if she's okay fighting a member of her guild, to which she responds, Sakaki said it was fine. Her answer ticks Haseo off. Having heard the rumors about Sakaki and how Atoli constantly idolizes him, it's getting a little grating.
You just eat up whatever Sakaki tells you, don't you? Hey, maybe you should watch your back out there. Knowing Sakaki, he just might have ordered Atoli to hold back on purpose. Oh well, it doesn't matter even if you do hold back in this fight, seeing how I'm going to win regardless. I'm surprised Sakaki can't even see.
No, it doesn't count if you hit him when he's right.
I don't care what you say about me, Haseo. But please, stop saying bad things about Sakaki. Haseo, good luck. Let's have a great match.
The writers try to slip in some development for Matsu here before the fight, but to be frank, there's way too many characters running around already. We ain't got time for that shit. Halfway through the battle, he'll switch to a huge red broadsword that I don't know, it raises his strength or something. I didn't really get a chance to see. I might have been a slight smidge over-leveled on accident. Through some incredibly rushed-feeling self-reflection, Matsu looks to have gone through some sort of grand personal growth after our bout, gives us his sword, and changes his entire worldview because we just slammed him that fucking hard. Cool, I will promptly never equip this piece of shit. Thanks, loser.
I remember the last time we fought. You used something against me, didn't you? Yeah, well, that trick isn't gonna work on me this time. For our next match, I'm gonna have a specialist monitor it. Then I will expose your trickery to the entire world.
Sick of not being the center of attention for 5 minutes, Haseo decides he wants his own pissing contest with Endrance as well, which just ends with Endrance reassuring Edge Lad that he doesn't even stand a chance against Alkaid, so he won't have to fight Haseo anyway. Haseo fumes for a bit. I'm the strongest. Yeah, sure kid. Let's test that strength, shall we?
Mr. Haseo, the semifinal match is about to begin. Please finish the registration process.
Oh, the match is about to start. Let's go, everyone.
Do you think Haseo can win?
I honestly have no idea. The boy does have his ups and downs, you know?
Very interesting. You say that almost as if you think he has a chance of winning.
Kun, as always, tries to see the positive side in the situation. Haseo's been training a lot for these battles. Maybe he's learned his lesson? But in the end, Pi breaks down his optimism and they both agree. Haseo can't beat Alkaid without his avatar.
You won't get away with this!
Hey, that's not fair. Only I get to do that.
What? You think you can win every time?
Alkaid is a very strong fighter.
So, you see, you and I are on totally different levels. Get it?
So much for not using our avatar.
It's not a place where you can win just because you say it.
No, not without using the avatar.
A rival? Him? He looks weak.
Alkaid is more perceptive than Bordeaux, and the audience as a whole. Even if she can't see Scathe, she knows Haseo used the same powers as Endrance to beat her, and she leaves rightfully furious about it. Before Haseo is confronted and forced to face the fallout of once more endangering the lives of innocent people, Gaspard tells him about a rumor on the forums regarding a tri-edge sighting, and that comes first. We warp to the area from the post, the Morig Barrow Wall, a bright valley with its namesake towering stone wall along the face of it, where Haseo is met with another tri-edge symbol, but nothing more than that. Also, Pyros is there, I guess.
Sakaki? Huh? What the hell is he doing here? Atoli?
Sakaki's using Atoli to suss out those sounds that she was hearing, like back before when she and Haseo were sucked into that cavern with the glowing tree. I'm sure he has a normal and completely innocent reason for doing this.
Sakaki, I'm happy to be able to help you on this task. You know I'm always here for you.
Very well. By the way, have you noticed any change in Haseo?
No, not especially.
Then that's fine.
The finals match should be sorted out by now. Wait, who are we up against? Real talk here, I genuinely forgot until this moment that Kun had already told us GU was in the tournament.
Antares? What the hell are you doing there?
I will never accept what you're doing, Haseo. No, not for as long as I breathe. Your philosophy is wrong. You think everything's fine as long as you win? Anything's allowed? Don't you realize it's not worth attaining your goal if you ruin others?
Shut up! What are you, stupid? Who will recognize you if you lose?
You're wrong, Haseo. Winning isn't everything.
Of course it is. I will make you recognize my power!
If you're curious why I haven't gone into any real detail on the last few arena battles, the answer is because they've been incredibly easy. There's no real strategies to discuss. The cutscenes where Haseo decides to use his avatar against Bordeaux and Alkaid were triggered when they fell to 50% HP. That is a no-diff condition. You can blitz them, ignoring your own team's health to quickly get to that point. It makes their fights incredibly short. But GU doesn't play that shit. You have to win properly, and it's the hardest battle so far. Even after some grinding and new equipment, it can still be an ordeal if you don't know what you're doing. Kun, Pi, and Antares are all melee fighters, so there's little room to breathe. While the rules still apply, Haseo is still technically the only person you have to worry about fainting. If either Atoli or Silabus go down, the fight is basically over. The 2-on-3 is annoyingly oppressive, and the chance of getting stun locked is high, especially when Antares, the goddamn bitch, keeps healing Kun every 5 seconds. So try to focus on Antares first to take away their healer. To reiterate, this is going to be a challenge because you're under a lot of physical attack pressure, but play it safe and we can get our legitimate victory. Sort of.
Move! Get out of my way! Or else I'll eat you alive! Skate!
You fool! Come on! Magus!
More Avatar battles! Similar to the regular fight preceding it, this battle is going to be our first instance of having to try in an Avatar fight. This isn't your standard stupid amoeba sucker. Kuhn's Epitaph, Magus, will actually defend itself with a shield, and its patterns of attack are more complicated than the AIDA we've been facing. But luckily, Skaith's stats increase alongside Haseo's, and we've done plenty of leveling, so we'll have no problems here. Who am I kidding? It doesn't matter if you grind or not. While I can't recall if this changes in later games, it does feel like your avatar is given way too much health in these counters. You can mess up quite a lot and still be in no danger of losing. I guess that's sort of to be expected, as this is only the first third of the game as a whole. I'll elaborate more on this issue at the end of the video. Haseo completely loses control of Skaith and is stuck watching from the sideline as Kuhn is mercilessly beaten by his avatar. Scared and powerless, his cries for his epitaph to stop fall upon deaf ears.
No! Please stop! That's enough! I told you to stop it! Hey! Cut it out! Stop!
This power, this terrifying power, was never his to begin with. He never had the strength to control it, just like everyone's been telling him, and now it's too late. But Kuhn is eerily calm about it. In fact, it seems like this was his plan all along, to make Haseo see the danger of abusing his power by sacrificing himself as an example.
I guess I was never really prepared for this kind of thing.
Please! Just go!
I'm sorry, but this was the only way I could think of.
Please don't. Stop, 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 stop!
Kuhn! What? What's wrong, Haseo? That expression isn't like you.
Kuhn is fine. You see, Kuhn's epitaph, Magus, possesses the ability of propagation, the power to create and duplicate data. Yeah, so Kuhn survived by feeding us a bunch of extra bullshit data for Skaith to absorb, rather than his soul.
You see, Haseo? It's just as I told you, right? Winning isn't everything. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Just don't make the same mistake again, okay?
Kid!
Antares.
Get it now?
Yeah.
Well, hot damn, has our edge-boi become good boy? For real this time? It only took 15 godforsaken hours and a presumed death. Kuhn and the rest of GU concede the match, and Haseo was declared the winner, meaning he, Atoli, and Silabus will be facing off against Endrance in the Demon Palace title match. If you want to do some grinding or side quests before the finale, now is the time. There's still about 2 hours of game left, but things happen pretty quickly from here on out. This is the last chance you'll have before the post-game, where all your party members are online and available. Important, because some side quests can only be done with certain teammates. Even Kuhn and Pai, who were previously locked mostly to story missions, are available for regular excursions.
At long last, it's time for the title match!
The audience is packed! Their incredible fervor is swirling throughout the arena! Thanks for waiting! Our commentator has arrived!
Oh, hey, it's Ovan, our friend slash rival slash enemy slash who the fuck knows if you didn't watch the anime. He's the special guest commentator for our match. While bantering with the announcer, Ovan, and therefore the game itself, tries to drop the surprise swerve that Haseo, Ovan, and Shino were all in a guild together, the Twilight Brigade. But is that a shocking detail? I automatically assumed they were in a guild from the very beginning, even before watching the anime. I didn't realize it was meant to be a secret. Is it meant to be a secret? I'm not sure what they're going for here.
You came, Haseo. I thought I told you. I'm going to defeat you and prove my power once and for all.
That is impossible. Sorry. After all, there's no way that she will allow me to lose.
Who is she?
Let us begin.
Guess I'll do what I can. I'll give it a shot.
Seems like Endrance is at least willing to give the crowd a show before pulling out his avatar. Either that or our handsome friend doesn't think he needs it. Endrance breaks the rules of combat we've become accustomed to, as he should, being a climactic boss, balancing out his number disadvantage against Team Haseo. Endrance can use his devilishly Bishonen looks to charm your party, including Haseo himself. Like most RPGs, charm is a status effect that makes you unable to attack the charm caster, while also in this case, turning you against your own team. Even if you're not under his spell, it's not like hitting Endrance is any easier. He has this blurry aura, meant to signal to the player his penchant for dodging 75% of your attacks. You might think to use skills for guaranteed damage since they home in, but he doesn't give a damn about those either. He will randomly counter them if you try. I'm super glad to at last have a boss that I might die to a few times. And it doesn't matter, because we still only have to reduce his health to half before the plot takes over. Oh, this is getting ridiculous, and it's really starting to disappoint me. The combat to story ratio is already skewed way towards story here in Volume 1. And every time we get what should be a serious encounter, Bordeaux, Alkaid, and now Endrance, the game cock-blocks itself by ending the battle too soon. I really like the combat. Like I explained in the very beginning, I think it's incredibly satisfying the way it feels just to hit enemies. But unless you're doing all the side content, there's so little of it in this first volume.
Not enough. Not nearly enough. At this rate, she will never be happy. Come, help me satisfy her.
It's all right, Haseo. You aren't going to make any more mistakes now.
Fine. Come on. Come on. Yes. I'm right here! Skate!
Recognizing Haseo as a true threat, Endrance's Epitaph, Maka, comes out to play. Matcha? I should have checked it. The .hack fans are gonna be so mad at me. Rather than throwing brand new gimmicks at you, Matcha is a further iteration of what we've been doing in Avatar battles already. Dodging bullet patterns, deflecting attacks with our scythe, resisting the suck, normal shit. Unlike most Avatar battles, Endrance speaks to us while we fight. Well, maybe speaks at us would be a better way to phrase it.
Where am I? What is this place? I don't like it here. You're not here. Is it because I'm weak? Is that the reason why?
What are you talking about?
I will get stronger. You'll see. Then will you please stay with me forever?
He sounds lost, like he's looking for someone, and not really focusing on Haseo at all, like his mind is somewhere else. As our match continues, Endrance wistfully recalls a girl who was important to him, who meant everything to him, but who he lost. He was distraught and buried himself in the escapism of the world until someone or something within the game began reaching out to him. And Endrance saw this other being as the reincarnation of the one he'd lost. In the end, though, Endrance was merely having his loneliness manipulated by AIDA.
me.
I suppose in the end, it doesn't really matter what his reasons were. Team Haseo still managed to come out on top as the new emperors of the Demon Palace. Oh wait, it does matter. It was the entire purpose for us entering the tournament in the first place. A grand crowning ceremony is held out on the sea to celebrate our victory. We get a chance to chat with the various NPCs and party members we've met to get some closing thoughts from them about what we've been through for the last 20 or so hours. All's well that ends well, right?
Should the star of the party be in a place like this?
What the hell are you doing, Ovan? Having her anxiety stoked by the half-bowl-cut asshole, Atoli becomes consumed with the idea that Haseo hates her. A not unfounded assumption, considering every single line of dialogue he's spoken to her until now. Against Haseo's wishes, Ovan explains the past of the Twilight Brigade to Atoli. The purpose of their guild was to find the Key of Twilight, the rarest and most powerful item in the entire game, said to grant the possessor anything they wish. But one day, while looking for said key, Ovan tops off his little story time by revealing to Atoli that her character looks just like Shino's, and to say she's hurt by what that implies would be an understatement.
Oh, I see.
Hey, wait!
Leave me alone!
I said wait, Atoli.
I enjoyed being with you. That was why I wanted to become closer friends with you. I know I'm so slow and clumsy, and I know how much I irritated you. But even so, I wanted to go on a lot more adventures with you. I was really happy when you invited me to the arena. That's why I studied so hard by myself. About arts, spells, the different jobs, and the timing for recovery. Everything. I wanted you to smile. I wanted you to praise me. But that was all for nothing. You weren't adventuring with me. No! You were just looking at Shino all this time. God, I'm such an idiot. There's no reason for this. If you won't look at me.
And after causing that whole scene, Ovan fucking dips. Of course he does. Goddamn homewrecker. I get the feeling the game might not be quite over yet.
Do you know about Tri-Edge? It's the player Haseo is looking for. Go and look for Tri-Edge yourself. It'll be fine. You won't have any problems if you just use your ability to hear.
Yada interrupts our search for Atoli with his search for Atoli. Why does GU give a rat's ass about a random girl? Well, you may have guessed by now, Atoli's an Epitaph user, a potential one at least. She's out investigating Tri-Edge right now to gain Haseo's approval, an idea that Scrungus Ovan gave her. Did she jack out? What the hell was that? Yada doesn't even have the answer to that question, confirming that Atoli's still logged into the world, but she isn't anywhere the developers have on file. Haseo runs off, bringing Kun and Pai with him to figure out what's happened and where Atoli's gone to.
Haseo, how did you know?
Atoli, what are you...
No! Stay back!
Huh?
I found this place by myself with my own powers! Please don't get involved! I'm going to find Tri-Edge. I'm going to use my power to find him.
But why are you looking for Tri-Edge?
Because I want you to look at me. I want you to see me, recognize me.
What are you talking about? I'm looking at you right now.
God fucking damn it, Haseo, that shouldn't have made me laugh.
If there was a stronger cleric, you would have chosen that person and not me. If there was a character that looked more like Shino, you would have relied on her. Well, am I right?
No, you idiot. That's not it at all.
I am an idiot. That's the way I am. That's why I got the wrong impression. I know better than anyone how much of an idiot I am.
If you keep calling yourself an idiot, you'll become one someday. Who are you? So, are you a hacker? An Epitaph user? What are you, an AIDA? Damn you. Say something already. I won't let you. You won't get away again. Give us back all of the lost ones! Don't cry later!
Oh, are we gonna do this? We're gonna beat Tri-Edge in the first game of the trilogy? Alright, screw it, let's go. The first detail I noticed is that Tri-Edge's player name is listed as Azure Kite. Azure meaning blue, and Kite being the screen name of the original .hack anthology protagonist. There is an incredibly cool detail here that is unfortunately entirely missing from the last Recode re-release. While yes, the character's name is listed as Azure Kite, and that is the character's quote-unquote canon name, if you had save data from the first 4 .hack games on your memory card, the game would pull the name that you gave Kite and use it here. He doesn't move! He pulls you to another dimension sometimes, which you can't block, but he simply does not move. He fires out bursts from his aura occasionally, but that's about the best he does. It's not an effortless battle, you do have to be careful and watch for him, as Blue Boy can rack up the damage quite quickly if you're just mashing X. But I am a little sorry to say, while visually impressive, the fight is still very simple, much like the rest of the boss fights in the game. Though, as you might have expected, that's because we're only half done.
Did we do it?
Right. He's using Kite's character, which means he has access to Kite's Twilight Bracelets, an item that allowed Kite to data drain without an Epitaph form, among other techniques like Drain Heart, which Azure Kite uses to reconstruct himself.
Is that Avatar? I don't care what it is. Either way, he's going down. And then I'll bring them all back. Every last one! Ready? Come on. Come on! Yes. I'm right here.
So Tri-Edge has an avatar now, or at least something close to it, the Azure Flame God. The real final boss, this guy has genuinely tricky to dodge attacks that require thinking out your timing and watching his patterns. And I know that might sound like backhanded praise, I am serious. There just isn't a lot more in-depth I can be with these avatar battles other than it fun. It's enjoyable to play and a great visual spectacle. More fights like this in the future volumes, please.
No! First you have to tell me how to bring everybody back! Atoli! Get away from there!
Yup. Credits. It's important to remember at this moment that this is presented and marketed as a trilogy, all of which were planned to be released within a year of the first volume's release. This is the only reason I'm not going to rip this apart, as tons of character stories are left open-ended and absolutely nothing gets resolved. There's even an on the next episode preview containing dialogue and concept art for the next volume, like an anime or something. There's a great insert song used here as well. Hell, all of the music in this game has been great, but I haven't really been able to show it off other than in cutscenes, as a lot of it can trigger copyright claims. When the credits finish rolling, we're dropped back into the game and allowed to continue to play and do side quests and so on. There's a handful of possible extra quests in Volume 1, and only 2 of them are worth doing in my opinion, and we're gonna keep one of those a secret for right now. There are basic collect number of things quests, like the Chim Researcher who wants you to collect Chim Spheres from a certain amount of Chims. There's an artist or something, like I completely forgot, who tasks you with handing out flyers to every single player in the entire game. Players will spawn in the hub worlds, randomly, and this count also includes players who only spawn in the area word dungeons, randomly. So you can imagine why this quest line would leave you catatonic. But on the brighter side, since the main story is over, you can now complete a more engaging quest line called the Abyss Quest, or the Mark of Offering, by checking out the forums and following hints of other users that have you visit a series of strange dungeons where you'll encounter cult-like NPCs, the final dungeon of which ends with the game's secret extra boss, who's unique compared to every other enemy in the game, as a giant rotting demon god who takes up a large chunk of the arena and has huge sweeping attacks that you need to be careful and avoid since they crush your guard. I don't really give a crap about the game lore within the game that leads up to this point, but the fight itself is really cool. Beating him unlocks the Black Armor, which has the effect of pumping up all your stats at the cost of constantly draining SP. Reminds me of the Rupee Armor from Twilight Princess. We will be allowed to move our save forward straight into Volume 2, so don't worry, there is a purpose to completing this quest line. We get to keep our stuff. But there's no reason to go over that right now. All in all, gameplay-wise anyway, it took me slightly over 21 hours to complete the campaign and beat the hidden final boss. I didn't 100% the game, but I did do all of the major content. You know, even after all the thought I put into it, it's really hard to judge .hack.gu on this single fraction of the whole experience. As a singular title, it leaves a lot to be desired. There are almost no side modes or mini-games or any real variety. The combat has a good foundation, but there's almost nothing built on top of said foundation, and what combat there is sparse. But at the same time, it's not like you would go into this game expecting a complete experience, you know? Even back on the PS2, the game was presented as Volume 1, a piece of a larger game. You could argue a standalone game should stand on its own as a total experience. However, you could just as easily argue that it's upfront about being a smaller piece of a larger puzzle, so it's not quite fair to be mad at the content it lacks. I guess there's not really a point in dissecting that line of thinking nowadays, though, as the game is only sold as a singular unit containing all of its parts. A new player will always go in with the knowledge that this constitutes only about 30% of what .hack GU has to offer. And looking at it that way, I think Volume 1 Rebirth is a fine jumping off point, a nice base to expand on with the next two titles. It is very cutscene and lore heavy, it's rough around the edges, so are some of its characters, and it takes a while to get going, but much like another series you guys have been clamoring for, all of that is a setup to something much greater. So let me tell you about some bullshit that went down. I'm not even gonna turn my fan off in the background because it doesn't fucking deserve this. I'm trying to make this video, okay? And no matter what I do, my video editing software, DaVinci Resolve, will not identify the .hack footage. I spent hours, I'm talking days here, people, putting the files into Handbrake, changing a setting, re-rendering, changing a setting, re-rendering, changing a setting, re-rendering, trying to get it to fucking recognize it. And it will not recognize these videos no matter what I do. And it doesn't make any sense because every other thing that I've recorded with this exact same capture card had no problems. I don't understand what's going on. So after what, I'm not joking, was probably about 2 days worth of re-rendering these files and trying to troubleshoot and trying to figure out what the fuck is wrong, I'm like, fine. I hate using it, and it's limited to 720p 30 FPS, but I'll just use Lightworks. I'll use my crappy old editing software, even though I hate it. It'll probably take me 100 years longer to make it on there. So finally, I have everything set up. I go to Lightworks, I'm importing all of my data, and I go to import all the music, all the background music, okay? So I go to import the folder with all the music into it, into Lightworks, and nothing. It's not showing up, and I'm actually, at this point, about to just blow up my entire computer. I'm about done. I'm gonna just delete my channel and become a corn farmer or something, because I've had just about enough of this shit. I've wasted so much time on trying to get these fucking files to load in. I finally figure out what I can do with the videos, and now the music isn't loading. I'm like, fine. Let's do bottom of the barrel dumb troubleshooting shit here, right? Maybe for whatever reason the file name isn't being recognized. Let me just go in, I'll just retitle it into whatever the fuck else. So I go to the music folder, I retitle it, sure enough, shows up right away. And then it hits me. No, wait a minute, wait a goddamn minute. I open up Resolve, I go into my folder of all my .hack footage, and I remove the dot from one of the file names. And it instantly shows up. For whatever reason, even though Lightworks, Windows Media Player, VLC, and Handbrake all identified them as MP4 files, for some reason, Resolve saw the name .hack in the title of the video files and just refused to even attempt to read them, assuming they were a different file extension that it didn't recognize. Now, there is obviously user error on my part. You're not supposed to use dots and slashes in file names. I know that. But again, when I'm just recording for myself and it's not going public, I don't really think about those sorts of things. No one's going to see those file names but me. But at the same time, literally every other program on my entire fucking computer was able to recognize that it's a video file. Why didn't Resolve? There are names going down the side of the screen at the moment. Those are the beautiful people over at Team Kernel on patreon.com/KNIJohn, where you too could become a member of the team for just $1 a month, getting access to early videos, polls, updates, and the Battle Network post-game videos as I finish them. The first 2 post-game reviews are actually already available over there. But regardless, I appreciate your support by watching this video at all. Thanks again, everyone. I will be back late November, early December with something a little different. We're gonna talk about a relevant game for once instead of one that came out 20 years ago. And we'll just have to wait and see, and I hope you enjoy it. I hope y'all have a nice day. Bye-bye.